Interviews generally, what do they want to know about? They want to know about you. Who are you and will you fit in? This is a nice way, I think, of thinking about it. Kind of big picture. What are you doing when you're preparing for an interview? So they want to know about you, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your kind of attributes. They want to know, why do you want to be a firefighter? What will you have when you're a firefighter that you haven't had previously? They want to know what your values are and how they might align to the values of the fire service that you're applying for. So that's all of you. Yeah. So think of it. What is it about you that you can prepare for these interviews? And then they want to know about your skills. These are the things they're specifically looking for and will ask you about in an interview. This is where you have to have your STAR or your STARLA examples ready so you don't feel taken by surprise. You know, we know what they're interested in. There's a whole library of questions on the FRA website, and you can theme them down to specific things. And I've got listed here: teamwork, safety, conflict resolution, resilience, as in stress management, and resilience, communication, diversity. These are things we know they're interested in. You need to prepare to answer questions on all of these different themes. And the STAR method, or the STARLA method, is about having good stories ready to tell them. A time and give a little bit of context about that situation you were in and what needed to happen. So that's the situation and the task, yeah, S and the T of STAR. And then what were the actions that you took? And then what was the result of that? So we're going to practice that tonight with the specific questions you've got. They want to know about you. They want to know, what can you do? What skills have you got? What have you done before? And then the third piece of the puzzle here for interviews is they want to know, what do you know about them? This is the research part of preparing for an interview, to really know all that you possibly can about the service that you're applying to. What kind of community programs do they run? What do they say about the role in all of their literature and on their website? What did the firefighters that you met when you did a station visit say about the role? What education programs do they run? What do you know about the shift roster? What do you know about the pay? All of that. So they want to know, what do you know about them? And, you know, I jump onto the different fire service websites regularly, and they've always got heaps of news there. So hopefully all of you are now trying to keep up to date with the kind of the media and the information that they're putting out. My next quick slide is about preparation for interviews, yeah? Research. This preparation that you do now is going to make those stories come easily on the day of the interview. Yeah. You won't need to remember the script or the specific. You'll just know the story well, like an old fable, and be able to tell it confidently. So the goal for interviews is to be so well prepared. I'm actually jumping down to prepare. I haven't read research. I'm not talking about that, is what I mean. But the preparation that you do is allowing you on the day to really engage authentically, because you won't be thinking about the answer and all the little things you need to say, because you've done so much prep, you're ready to tell the stories about what you can do. So that's the prepare powerful examples and practice. Research is around you understanding all that you need to know from their website, from talking to fireys, and learning all you can about the role. If you haven't already, sounds like you're engaging with the FRA website, but there's great questions there. And now there's a little tab beside the questions for you to kind of like mock up your example. You can video yourself. I mean, I think it's really good. We might be ironing out some wrinkles, but it's a great platform now for you to prepare very well for these interviews. Make a note of the key areas yourself that you think they're going to ask you about. Teamwork, communication, safety, all these things, but, you know, go through and list them out yourself and be very clear on what you're preparing and why. Use the frameworks that they give you and that we give you through the platform, which is the STAR, situation, task, action, result. I think they use another word for action, don't they? It's the same though. Or the STARLA, which is what was the learning and what are the actions from the learning. Which I think you can use for the STAR as well, because one of the results of anything that you do can be your own learning. I learned through this experience how valuable it can be to take my time when communicating with culturally and linguistically diverse people. That kind of reflection and consideration, if you're adding that in as part of your STAR example, is a winning thing to do. All right. Research, practice using the FRO website, list your areas so you know what you're talking about and what you need to prepare for. Prepare those powerful examples. Have a couple of examples for each of those key skills that you're preparing and be very clear on that story. So take the time, take the hours if you need the hours. Think about your career. It's, for a lot of us, it's not something we really want to do, but it's time well spent remembering good, powerful examples. A few tips on the day, yeah? Listen carefully to the question, or you might miss the most important detail, like I missed that detail there with the teeth. Take your time. This is something I'd really love to stress with you. On the day of the interview, when you're nervous and maybe don't hear the question properly or think you've heard it one way but are not sure, it's absolutely okay to pause, first of all, have a sip of water if there's water there, and also to ask them, kind of check in, double check. Have I heard this question properly? Are you asking me to give you an example of blah? Try and listen carefully. If you haven't listened well enough, just pause and ask again. It's professionally, look like you've made an effort and use professional language. I've heard with the fire service, use sir and ma'am. There's no harm in being overly formal on this occasion. Make eye contact, arrive early, be prepared. Yeah, don't arrive late. You're going to be flustered if you arrive late and it's not the best impression. Be enthusiastic when you meet the panel, shake their hands if that feels comfortable to you. Be yourself. Be honest and authentic. Integrity is crucial for all of these services. So it's important that you can show them the real you from the get-go and that they sense that, because I think in interviews you can sense that when you get that kind of the essence of a person. So be yourself. I think that's really important because that will connect you to the panel, and it's more likely they will connect to you if you're being yourself. And my final tip here on the day is to close well. Practice your kind of closing summary, why you're applying and why you think you're going to be a good fit.